So this is the beginning of showing you how to torch some metals. I am using a Gas 1 butane fuel canister, and it hooks up to an Iwatani, Iwatani torch top. It's the same one I use for my encaustics. When I want to do light heating for something, this is what I use instead of my big torches. So you saw me just put it onto the tank, and I can watch as the heat goes around and decide where I want it to go next or how much color I am getting into the metal. You might want to practice a bit with this and see how it goes, because you will learn the techniques that you want for yourself. I will show you a little later on in the video. I'm going to show you how you do like metal mesh and what different effects they have. And then you can start playing with a torch and deciding what you want to use. But obviously, I suggest you do it in a heat-resistant spot. This is a concrete floor, and the other things I do outside on my concrete patio or in my little torch hut that has metal walls. So once I get this done, then I'll show you how we do the metal mesh. So for the metal mesh, it's just a bit different. What you want to be able to do is to heat the mesh and not burn through it. So I will pull the torch a bit away. I will get heat spots in it. This one I'm trying to get little circles. I don't want it all over burn, or patina is what you would kind of call it, even if it's a mesh. And so the color I want to vary and move it around the stainless, which is what this is, stainless mesh. And as I do that, I just like to keep finding little places to put color, moving it in and out, and you can see how I go from here. So here's a quick look at the finishing part of this, and then I'll show you how it works on other mesh. This is a brass piece, which makes a totally different kind of heat patina. Then we're going to come up on a copper here, and this is a small piece of it because I already cut up what I did to use in something. And then here is the larger piece. So here we go to some of the things that people ask me all the time. What do you use these things for? Well, this I'm using to put together in some elements to use in one of my art pieces. So here I am taking just a tape roll so that I can make a perfect circle, and I'm going to cut these out. So I keep them as close as I can to waste as little fabric as I can, or fabric meaning mesh, and I will then carefully cut through the mesh. Now, cutting through the mesh can be tricky. You do need a sharp scissors, one you don't want to ruin. This isn't the best scissors for doing this, but it does work. You also want to be careful of your hands because you are going to get scratched and notched up by the wire. And if you want, you can use gloves. I have a hard time with gloves on certain things, so I kind of like to just use my hands alone because I like the way it feels to me as I feel the materials. So from here, I am going to take these pieces and use them in an art piece. As I'm doing this right here, I am putting holes, and then I want to kind of match them up on the other side of the mesh. You can see how I kind of directly tried to match these up. Now, as I continued to work with these, I did not try to match them up because it was quite annoying to try to get the holes in the perfect place on the perfect side. And sometimes when I'm creating like this, I feel that a little bit of a difference and not trying to make the materials come together so perfectly adds another part of energy to the work. So this right here, you will see that as I do this, I am actually figuring it out as I go. So what I want to do here is I want to put these together in a round little coil type thing. But what I've done is I haven't put the wires in the correct way. So that it would close on top, which you'll see here now as I turn it over. I could have left them in and flipped the actual mesh over, but I wasn't thinking about that. So I connect these now so they can pull it tight and actually have the roll come together. As I pull it, I try to get the surfaces as close to match as I can. And you could also use a pliers doing this. I end up using my hand a lot, which is not always a good idea. It'll save your hands if you use other tools. But I'm kind of in the moment and I just keep working the way I do. So I'll twist this all around to make a long twisty end. So let me just show you. I have people ask me all the time, what do you do with these prints? What do you do with these metals? How do you use this stuff in your work? You know, you must have tons of stuff around your studio. What do you do with it? Okay, so this is what these little pieces were for. They're for a sculpture that I've been working on, and I wanted something on the inside of the sculpture. So if you can see here, this is a 16 gauge metal piece that I free cut with the torch, and there's a little bit of a digital print on the front of it, or actually on a side of it, and these things I'm planning on putting inside the actual unit and hanging them with a bunch of crochet wire and some kind of a configuration. So we're going to see how that goes when this is eventually finished.